She sat alone in a corner with a cupcake, whispered, "This is my last birthday," and one stranger turned it into a night she would never forget. This isn't just a story. It's a reminder that a little kindness can save a life. If you believe in second chances and human connection, please like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories. Now, let's begin. The rain tapped gently on the cafe windows as the 4-year-old Amy sat quietly in the corner booth. Her jacket was damp from the walk, her shoes squeaked slightly, and her cheeks carried the kind of exhaustion no makeup could hide. She had ordered one cupcake, just one. It had a crooked candle stuck in the middle. No balloons, no party, no people. She had lit the candle herself, not to make a wish, but to mark her presence in the world, however faint it felt. With her arms wrapped around herself and eyes fixed on the small flame, she leaned forward and whispered almost too softly to hear, "This is my last birthday," not because she wanted attention, not because she needed drama, but because something inside her had quietly surrendered. Amy had lost her job 2 weeks ago. Her roommates had moved out. Her mother had passed away 2 years back from cancer. And her father, well, he left when she was 9 and never looked back. She hadn't eaten since yesterday. The cupcake was paid for with the last crumpled bills in her wallet. She told no one it was her birthday, not because she didn't care, but because she was afraid no one else did. But someone heard her. Jake, sitting 2 tables away, was a 32-year-old construction worker on his way home from a long, muddy shift. He wasn't supposed to stop at the cafe that night. His 6-year-old daughter usually waited up for him, but something told him to pull over, to take a moment. And when he heard Amy whisper those words, "This is my last birthday," his hands froze around his coffee cup. He turned to look at her. Really, look, she wasn't crying. She wasn't making a scene. She was simply fading. Jake stood, walked slowly to her table, and gently asked, "Hey, mind if I sit for a second?" Amy looked up, surprised. Her guard went up instinctively, but something about his voice, calm human, disarmed her. She hesitated, then said, "Sure, it's not like I'm waiting for anyone." Jake sat down. "Happy birthday," he said softly, nodding toward the cupcake. "Looks delicious. Want to share it?" Amy let out a hollow laugh. "Seriously?" Jake smiled. "Dead serious." She shook her head. "No one said happy birthday to me all day. You're the first." "Well, that's unacceptable," he said. "So I'll say it twice. Happy birthday, Amy." She blinked. "How did you know my name?" He pointed to the name embroidered faintly on her old work apron that she had forgotten she was still wearing. She smiled shilly, then looked down at the cupcake. "I know it's silly. I just wanted to feel visible, I guess." Jake's expression softened. "It's not silly, it's brave." For the next 30 minutes they talked. Amy shared pieces of her story. Not the dramatic movie version, but the raw truth. She talked about how lonely the nights felt, how she had applied for dozens of jobs with no callbacks, and how she sometimes wondered if anyone would notice if she just stopped showing up in life. Jake listened. No interruptions, no advice, just silence, warmth, and presence. Finally, he stood up and pulled out a small $10 bill from his wallet. "Let's get something warm to eat on me. And after that, if you're willing, I want to show you something." Amy tilted her head. "Why are you being nice to me?" Jake looked at her, eyes calm but honest. "Because no one should whisper that it's their last birthday. Not on my watch." Amy smiled for real that time, a genuine glowing smile. And just like that, the darkness cracked a little. They ate hot soup and fresh bread. Amy laughed when Jake told stories about his daughter putting glitter on his work boots. Jake smiled when Amy talked about how she used to make her mum smile by baking pancakes that looked like animals. But the night wasn't over. Jake stood, pulled his phone from his jacket, and said, "I called in a little favor earlier. Want to take a short drive?" Amy hesitated. "I don't even know your last name." "Then let's change that." He grinned. What Amy didn't know was that her whisper had just begun a chain of kindness that would echo far beyond that cafe booth. Amy followed Jake into a small community hall a few blocks away. She was nervous, suspicious, but something inside her, maybe hope, kept her feet moving. The doors opened, the lights were on, and then she heard it. Surprise. Amy stopped cold. Her eyes widened. Inside were 10 strangers, colorful streamers, balloons taped to the walls, and a big cake with "Happy Birthday, Amy" written in pink frosting. A little girl, Jake's daughter, ran up and hugged her knees. Amy's voice cracked. "What is this?" Jake stepped beside her. "These are friends of mine. I told them what you said about this being your last birthday, and they said, let's make sure it's not." Amy looked around at faces she didn't know. People clapping, smiling, holding paper plates and soda cans. A woman handed her a wrapped sweater. Another offered a small gift, a notebook with the words, "Your story matters," embossed on the cover. Tears streamed down Amy's face. She tried to speak, but the words got lost in the lump in her throat. All she could do was nod and let the moment soak in. They sang happy birthday. They took photos. Jake's daughter asked if Amy could be her birthday friend forever. Someone started music from an old speaker, and for the first time in years, Amy danced. She laughed. She cried. She remembered what it felt like to be human, to be seen, to be celebrated. Later, Jake walked her home. The rain had stopped. The city felt warmer somehow. Before she went inside, Jake handed her a small envelope. "What's this?" she asked. "Just a few things," he replied. "A list of job openings, a local support group that meets Wednesdays, a volunteer spot at my daughter's art class, and my number." Amy looked up at him, her eyes still glassy. "Why are you doing all this?" Jake answered with a shrug. "Because I believe the world is a better place with you in it." Amy bit her lip and smiled. Tonight felt like something out of a movie. Jake chuckled. "Nah, it was real. And next year, your 25th, we're making it even bigger." She laughed through her tears. "I never thought I'd say this, but I'm glad I whispered what I did." Jake nodded. "Me, too, because sometimes all it takes is a whisper to wake up a whole community." If this story moved you, remember, a moment of kindness can change your life and maybe even save it. Please like this video and subscribe to Kindness Stories so we can keep sharing stories that restore faith in humanity. Because somewhere tonight, someone is whispering and you might be the one who hears.